Hello, welcome back. It's been a while. I know it's been a long time. I think it's been almost a month since I filmed the video. It's not because there's been anything wrong or anything like that, but I've been away. I went away over Easter. I think it was from like the 20th or something over Easter. And then only just came back. And last week was my first week back at work. So it's been a long time off, so I just took a break as well. But also the first time I actually tried to film a video after I came back from holiday, my face was all I can't say it was sunburn. It was just it was not good. My face was not looking good at all. I had so much sunburn and so many spots and all sorts of things, so I didn't think it was necessary. And besides, it was nice to take a little break and reflect on my life, reflect on a lot of things. So here I am back again. So the main reason why I actually decided to film this one today is because just yesterday, it didn't happen today, it happened yesterday. I'm busy working. Yesterday was Friday, and I was working, getting on with my work, and I was so busy because I've just come back from work and from holiday, and I'm like so busy, and then I get a knock on the doorbell, and I go and open the door, and it's my neighbor, and she's asking me, "Are we okay? Are we not me okay? Is me and her, are we okay?" So I'm like, why? What's happened? So she says, "Did I do anything to upset you?" So I'm like, or offend you? So I'm like, no. What are you talking about? What has happened? So she's like not telling me anything. So at this point, she was looking panicked. And for her to walk, usually she's my neighbor on the other side at the back. We share a back garden. So because we share a back garden, the only time we really get to have a conversation, we do have lots of conversations, mind you, when I've got time, but usually only when I'm putting my clothes out. So it's not like I stand out there and have a conversation with her every single day or anything quite like it. And there was nothing. I actually left the house only on Tuesday. So I do 2 days a week in the office, but because I only did Tuesday in the office, so the rest of the week I was working from home. So because when I'm working from home and I'm so busy, I only leave my house like at night, maybe about 10 o'clock in the evening when I'm going for my walk to do my steps. So and I'm not going to meet anybody at that time of night. So there was no, and I'm like, what's going on? What's the issue? She was like in a state. So she's like, "Oh, I just wanted to make sure that me and you are good. So I like you." And I'm like, what has happened? What is going on? So, but I'm 100% sure. Well, I'm not 100% sure. I'm lying by 100% sure. But either she saw the results of the elections in our area, and the elections in our area is very it's a village. It's a small village. So the results in our area, a lot of there was the councillor who got like whatever percentage, the most percentage of the vote was a reform councillor when just past the last elections. But it honestly, I've never at any point, I know I'm like black, and there is nothing. Everybody in the whole village is absolutely amazing. They are absolutely nice. I've never at any point felt like threatened or felt out of place or felt like, I can walk. That's why I even say the only reason why I leave my house is to go walking, and go for a walk at 10 o'clock. I don't feel, I don't feel afraid to go out in the night at 10 o'clock to walk. Sometimes I'm out there until about almost midnight because I still haven't achieved the amount of steps that I need to do. So I'm thinking, what are you talking about? So I said to her, let me put on my shoes and then I'll come to your house, because I thought maybe somebody has done something to her house, or somebody has attacked her, or somebody has gone and said, and I thought maybe she just doesn't want to talk about it on the doorstep. But I wasn't prepared. I didn't know where, because she was flustered. So I didn't want to invite her into my house. So, it's like you don't want to invite somebody into your house whom you can see that she is flustered about something. So I said, I'll come to your house. So we go to the house and she's showing me her garden. She's showing me she's got a really large garden that we all have garden, but, vegetable garden. So she's growing all these vegetables. She was telling me about all the spices she's growing. She's telling me about all the she had loads of things that she was growing, and she says once any of the things start ripening, I will give you some. She does. They're very good. They're very, very good neighbors of mine, and I like herself and her sons. We're always chatting. Whoever I see out there, we have a nice, good conversation. So I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm thinking she's gonna come up with a reason why she's panicked about something, but she's still not coming up with the reason. And her other son came back from work. We sat outside. We were just talking, and we spent almost like an hour, 2 hours outside, talking about the garden, talking about all sorts of different things. But there was no mention of what she was panicking about. And I didn't want to push, because, when you can see that somebody's got something, when she came to my door, she definitely had something. She wanted to reassure me about something, because she was telling me, oh, I like you, there is nothing, you're one of my best neighbors. I love having our conversations. I love this. And I'm like, but why? I don't need validation from anybody about whether you like me or not. As long as, if you live in my house, then at least I would appreciate a little bit of being liked. But if I don't live in your house, I know we're neighbors. We've been neighbors for a very, very long time, and we have, we've never at any point. When I go away, they take my bin out and bring it in. If there's no one at home, things like that, they're really good neighbors. But for her to come and start reassuring me that she likes me and she hasn't got a problem with me, and she wanted to make sure that she hasn't done anything to offend me, I just found that to be it felt like she was being paranoid about something, and which she was, but I have absolutely no idea. So I spoke to her, because I could see there was something she wanted to say, but she wouldn't say it. So we had conversations, we talked about lots of different things, lots of different subjects, and obviously the garden. She showed me every single item. She was growing. So it was a big garden. It's a big garden. So she's literally going through everything, explaining how nice it is, what you use, you cook it in, or what salads you put it in, and the smell of it. It's all those things. And I was like, really appreciating all the conversations and everything. And then I was thinking, at some point she's going to come up with a reason why she wanted, she basically came out of her house, came to my doorbell, rang my doorbell to tell me or reassure me or ask me about something. So anyhow, none of that even happened. And I was thinking to myself, does she want me to be like one of those type of neighbors who, every time I cook something, I put it over the fence, or I go and knock at her door every 5 minutes but that's not, we've never been like that ever since we've lived next door to each other. So it's never been like that. So there is nothing that I can even think of besides the fact that I've been so busy and I've not gone outside. I've not put any clothes outside because you just come back, and usually I do my laundry before I go away on annual leave, and then obviously the weekend after. So it's been a week. I mean, it's been during the week and I've been working. So I did not go outside, and I've been so busy. So I'm still, up to now, I'm still actually trying to figure out. I thought to myself, maybe I'll go and speak to one of her sons to ask if she was okay and what it was all about, because I know she's not going to tell me what's happened or what she's so afraid of. But I am 100%, well, no, I keep saying 100%, God. I'm not 100% sure. I am sort of maybe about 50% sure that she thinks, because of the fact that a certain amount or a certain percentage of the village population voted for reform. So people might not, I'm not the only Black person who lives in the village anyway. There's quite a few. So it's not like I'm the only person that could be potentially targeted by anybody, or somebody might start coming and egging my house or something like that. I think that's what she was afraid of, because, or in essence, I think people don't understand that we, as whether you're Black, Indian, or a person of a different heritage or a different color from the majority of the people in the neighborhood, I don't go about like making myself to be, oh, I'm Black. No, I just live my life as the next person. I don't walk around. I mean, obviously you walk around with this face. I walk around with the same face, and every time I'm outside cutting the grass or doing anything on the outside of my yard, or outside, just outside in my yard, my front garden or my side garden or my back garden, anybody who's passing, especially people with their dogs, they're stopping and they're talking to me. And I talk to literally all the neighbors that I have within the like the people that are close by. Obviously not every single neighbor, but people who are within the vicinity of where I live. So, and I think white people tend to think that for them to be an ally, they have to spell it out to me. No, you don't have to spell it out to me to say you are, you don't have anything against foreigners, or you don't have anything against people of different colors, or you don't have anything against people who are different from you. You just have to be yourself. You just have to be nice. You don't have to come to me and actually reassure me to say I don't have a problem with you. Like, I'm not disabled. I'm not blind. I'm not hard of hearing. So what would you have? I'm not homeless. I don't need anything from you. So why would you feel like you need to reassure me that you don't have anything against? I didn't know there was anybody who's got something against me, or who's got a problem with my existence. Because at the end of the day, I drive into my yard. As soon as I drive in through my gate, I'm in my country, in my palace. I've got my own food. I'm not coming to your house to look for food. I have a job. I've nothing that I need from you except for you to talk to me to give me a kind word, to say good morning, to say good afternoon. But it's one of those things where I think people always feel like, or they just don't know how to reassure another person that they don't have a problem. Or maybe not to say they don't have a problem. You shouldn't have a problem with anybody, and nobody should have a problem with anybody, unless you're feeding them. But if you're not feeding them, why should you care? You should, even if you see me in the road, just don't talk to me. I don't need to talk to you. But if you feel like you want to talk and I smile at you, you smile back, we say good morning. But, because this is a reasonably friendly small village, everybody, if you're walking and you meet a person, because usually people don't walk, people drive, because the shops are like, I think Tesco is probably about 2 miles. Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's, they're all quite far. They're all within a similar complex. So you can't go there walking, so to speak. You have to drive. You have to drive to it. So most people drive anyhow, but obviously people do walk their dogs. A lot of people walking their dogs, and I walk for my steps, for my fitness. So there are still people who walk or run or whatever they're doing, but you're not going to stop a person who's running. But obviously a person who's walking, you in the daytime, you stop, you have a 5-minute conversation, and then you move on. And I've always had like lots of conversations with just people. I'm not going to ask the person for money, so why should they have a problem talking to me? So that's why I always wonder why people feel like they feel the need to let somebody know that they are either not racist or homophobic, or you don't have to. Just talk to me like you would talk to anybody else. Just have a conversation with me like you would have with anybody else. Because I've got a person that I work with that has, I don't know if I talked about this one time, whether I've actually talked about this, but I don't know. I've probably talked about it in other social situations. But she was, I might have talked about it because I was talking about the fact that I did not want to order fish and chips or something in a chip shop, and she made it sound like, because I don't like fish and chips, I am not British enough, or I am not, I don't qualify. I don't know. She made it very it was a very racist comment that she made, that made it seem like because I didn't want any fish and chips, because I don't really eat fish and chips. I mean, obviously I would. I would if I'm hungry, but, it was through work. Work was paying for it. I didn't want to buy fish and chips. If work is paying for it, I'm going to eat something. I'm going to order something that I like. I'm not going to just order something just comes and it's all greasy. I'm not saying fish and chips are bad to eat. Just saying I didn't want them for at that particular time, and I have eaten fish and chips a lot of times before. So, but it was just it's just yes, there are people who are out there to just make you know that you are different. But what I'm just saying is, if a person feels like they feels the need to go and clarify. It was more like clarifying rather than justifying, because she says, I haven't got a problem with you, I haven't got a problem with your family. So I'm thinking, so have you got a problem with other black people, or have you got a problem with your other neighbor? So to me, I don't know whether it was about me specific as a person, or me as a neighbor, or me as a black person, or me as a person who looks different. She just wouldn't tell me what it was. So, or me as a woman, maybe she's got, I literally do not have any idea about. I might come back here at some point, because I really, really need to figure out what she was talking about. But obviously, I've been in situations where people say things. I remember one time, I think we were in a McDonald's. We were sitting. I can't remember where we were coming from. We got to a McDonald's, ordered some food, ordered something, and went and sat. We actually ordered it on one of them, the drive-through, thinking we're just going to sit in the car, have whatever it was that we ordered. And because the sun was shining and the sun was out, we then got out of the car, sat on one of the benches outside. So he was sort of Asian kind of guy, but he had a learning disability of some sort. So he came round, he had his carer, he came round to where we were, and he stopped and he said, hello, sisters. Or whatever he said, I can't remember what he said. And I said, hello. And he said, can I ask you a question? So I said, because you could clearly see that he had some sort of learning disability. So he said, can I ask you a question? So I said, yeah, shoot, go ahead. And he said, are you and I'm like, are you serious? And the carer who was with him felt so embarrassed by it, which was so weird, because I'm like, I know this person's got learning disability, but where does he get that information where he stops? He stopped specifically because he knew, you could tell that we were black, but for him to use the N-word, to ask if we were the N-word, then meant he understood clearly what he was trying to say. So, and at that point, learning disability or not, I literally said to him, if you ever say that word in my face again, I will punch you. But it wasn't like, anything bad or anything. I didn't say it like aggressive or anything, but why? I was just trying to make him understand that you don't go about talking to people about saying words like that, or saying that word to people without intending on or upsetting them, or without intending on, because it's a derogatory word that was used in the during the slave trade, or the slavery time. So why would he clearly knew exactly what he was talking about, because he had the biggest grin after he asked that question. So, but and the carer was like, oh, no, sorry. I think he just didn't understand what he was saying. He didn't understand and I said, it's okay, move on. Let us have our enjoy the sunshine, just move on. Because you stopped. You're the one who stopped where we were sitting to try and insult me. It's like people don't do that. But basically, what I'm just trying to say is, if if anybody ever, like, if anybody's trying to say they are an ally to other people, there is absolutely no reason to justify your allyship. Just be kind, just be nice, just have decency, just be a human being, which my neighbors are. Usually they always are. But I think it's just people not understanding how to behave to make another person know that you are just treat me like you treat your neighbor next door. Well, your nice neighbor next door, obviously, not the ones you don't like. But obviously, just treat me like any other. Don't treat me any special. Don't treat me any different. Just be kind, and kindness is just what you need. But anyhow, that is the reason why I decided to come back to my YouTube channel. But I promise I will be talking more about my other experiences. I will not disappear again. I know I'm going away again next week on Wednesday, so I'll be away for a bit. But when I come back, I should be able to film a couple more videos and talk about my experiences. And hopefully, I'll have lots of experiences to share. Have a good night. Bye.